In November 1890, the most powerful bank on earth was already dead. Not struggling, not failing, dead. And almost no one knew. Because if the truth leaked, the global financial system would collapse within days. So the governor of the Bank of England did something unthinkable. He went to the zoo, while secretly orchestrating the first bailout in modern history. A rescue that would quietly invent a system we still depend on today, and a problem we still haven't solved. At the end of the 19th century, London wasn't just a city. It was the financial center of the world. Capital flowed through it like blood through an artery, fueling empires, railways, and entire nations. And at the center of that system stood one institution, Barings Bank. So powerful, it was called the sixth great power of Europe. Its business was simple. Take British capital, send it across the world, and turn emerging nations into profit. No country embodied that promise more than Argentina, a land investors believed would become the United States of South America. Money flooded in. Railways expanded 300%. Foreign investment tripled. But underneath the growth, something was deeply wrong. Argentina wasn't growing on stability. It was growing on debt. Massive debt, borrowed in gold, but paid back in a collapsing paper currency, a fatal mismatch. To keep the illusion alive, the government created a system where new loans backed old loans and new money, masked inflation, a perfect cycle, until the money stopped. By 1890, growth turned negative. Currency collapsed, investors panicked, and then political revolution erupted in Buenos Aires. Confidence didn't just weaken, it vanished. Barings had bet everything on Argentina, but one deal destroyed them. A massive infrastructure project, Buenos Aires water supply, over £6 million. They expected global investors to buy it instantly. No one did. Demand was zero. Barings was forced to hold the entire toxic asset. At the same time, interest rates rose, credit tightened, and suddenly the most powerful bank in the world couldn't pay its debts. £15.7 million due, no liquidity, no buyers, no escape. November 8th, 1890. The truth reaches the Bank of England. Barings is insolvent. If it collapses, every bank connected to it collapses. Global trade freezes. Britain could be forced off the gold standard. This wasn't a bank failure. This was systemic annihilation. And the Bank of England didn't even have enough gold to cover the damage. They had 72 hours. So what does the man in charge do? He leaves, publicly calm, takes his son to the London Zoo, a signal to the market, everything is fine. Behind the scenes, panic, negotiations, desperation, because if the market sensed fear, the collapse would begin instantly. The solution would change finance forever. A secret rescue, gold borrowed from France, Russia persuaded not to withdraw funds. Private banks forced into a £17 million guarantee fund. No public bailout, no announcement, just coordinated power. Then, a radical innovation, split the bank in two. Good assets, saved. Toxic assets, isolated. The first good bank, bad bank structure in history. Barings survived. The system survived. But something else was born. This wasn't a free rescue. The bankers paid everything. Personal fortunes seized, estates destroyed, reputations erased. The message was clear. The system will be saved. You won't be. And yet, a dangerous idea had been proven. Some institutions are too important to fail. Even though London survived, the damage spread. Capital fled Latin America. Markets collapsed. Countries cut off from funding overnight. Argentina fell into deep depression. Brazil followed. Global lending froze. A 19th century version of what we now call a sudden stop. The pattern didn't end in 1890. It repeated. 1998. Long-term capital management. 2008, global financial crisis. Same structure, excess risk, hidden fragility, sudden collapse, emergency bailout. And today, we're seeing echoes again. Rising sovereign debt, emerging market currency pressure, aggressive capital flows chasing yield. The same ingredients, because the core problem was never solved. A global system dependent on confidence, but driven by risk. The Barings crisis didn't just save the system. It locked us into a permanent dilemma. If you let a major institution fail, the system collapses. If you save it, you encourage the next crisis. That tension between stability and moral hazard has defined global finance ever since. The crisis of 1890 revealed something uncomfortable. Financial systems don't break suddenly. They decay silently, built on optimism, sustained by denial, and exposed by reality. Argentina wasn't the cause. It was the trigger, just like every crisis since. If this felt familiar, that's because it is. Different countries, different names, same pattern. So here's the question. Are we watching history repeat itself? Or are we just better at hiding it? Hit the like button if this opened your perspective. If you want more to understand the systems shaping power, money, and collapse, subscribe to World Power Files, because the next crisis won't announce itself either.